You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Tuesday. My name is Brock. Sadly, Dalby's not in here today. Hopefully, he's back tomorrow. We'll get to the show in just a sec, but I do want to remind, for anyone who does live in Kingston that listens to the show, we will be having our blood drive coming up on February 15th. If you want to get in on that, I'll throw the link in the podcast there, or if you just call 1-888-2DONATE, you can sign up right now. But like I said, the link will be in the podcast. Sign up. We've got lots of open spots left.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Hey, Brock, was wondering if you could pass along a message to all the dumbasses out there on the road that for some reason refuse to clean the fucking snow off of their cars. That'd be great. All right, cheers. Keep up the good work, bud.
Yeah, reminder not to be that guy this morning. For those who don't know, in Ontario, it is a $110 fine, and you can actually get demerit points for that. Not only is it dangerous, but it's just an absolute dick move. I mean, when you go into someone's house, do you not kick off the mud or snow off your boots before you go in? If you still have the snow on your car,
shame.
Very shame bell worthy this morning. On top of that, I think there's a lot of don't be that guys when we get these snowstorms here. Don't be that guy who just doesn't let your car warm up, let it clear out a little bit. I think that's shame bell worthy as well.
Shame.
No need to be driving like Mr. Magoo out there. On top of that, don't be that guy that's riding people's ass on the road today. Don't expect anyone to have any sympathy when we see you in a ditch a little bit later. And don't be the guy that complains about being stuck behind a snowplow. Those people are doing the Lord's work this morning. Don't be that guy, on top of that, who blows all your snow on the road when you bust out the snowblower later on this morning. And finally, this one really doesn't have much to do with the snow, but don't be that guy who orders like $45 worth of coffee and farmer's wraps at Tim Hortons. Just another reminder, the rest of us got places to be this morning, bud.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Big fan of the show. Just wanted to call in this sure if this will make it to air. But I got a bone to pick with people that are just straight up bad drivers. I mean, is it really rocket science for people to use their indicator, especially when they're in a roundabout or, turning when it's the middle of winter? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seems to me that people don't know it's common knowledge to use a turn signal. It's really not that hard. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day, and thanks for all you do.
It's not a hot take by any means. I'd like to imagine you were probably driving behind a BMW or an Audi. I don't know what it is about those cars. I'm not rich enough to afford one. I don't know if they come with turn signals, but it seems like every damn BMW or Audi driver in this town refuses to use their signals. I like to imagine that those who don't signal also don't wipe up the toilet seat after they dribble a little bit. Same kind of person who sees you coming when they're in the elevator and they still close the door on you. Now, some people, I'm sure, it's a blatant mistake. You forget to signal. It happens from time to time. But does anybody have a justified reason for being an absolute piece of garbage and not signaling? The only one that I can think of is if you're in an action movie, like you're Liam Neeson, and you don't want to give away your next move to your enemies. That's the only legit excuse for not using your turn signal. Crazy thing is I looked it up. The turn signal wasn't a standard in cars until 1939. But it's not 1939. It's 2025. Figure it out, my guy.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Got friend of the show, Jean-Guy, on the phone. What's your driving pet peeve, brother?
It's when people drive in the left lane at speed limit.
Oh, those left lane cruisers are the worst, dude.
Oh, yes. They're definitely in the way. If you're going to do speed limit, go in the right lane. You know what I mean?
And then as soon as you drive by them, they give you the look like you're the problem, too, every single time.
Oh, I know.
My favorite thing is giving that passive-aggressive look to left-lane cruisers there. So many people texting in, venting here this morning. People driving with no lights on is a big one there. People honking as soon as the light turns green. You know what? I will say, I think you get one Mississippi and then you get a honk, all right? But then at the same time, the amount of people in this city that are running yellow lights close to red here, y'all deserve the shame bell for sure, dude.
Shame.
I do got friend of the show, Tim, on the phone. Tim, speaking of lights, you had something to say?
It's
the bright lights, the LED lights, even when they're on low beam.
Oh, those lights piss me off so much.
And if there's any dampness on the road, you can't see anything. You're just guessing when you're going by them.
Oh, yeah. I can't even tell if people have high beams on anymore.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. And I know they're all young lads that drive around those yellow, really bright, weird lights. I don't know what the hell that's about, but...
You know what it is? It's the LED lights, and anybody who drives a white Ford Escape, I hate you so much. That should be illegal to own a white Ford Escape in this province. I automatically assume that it's a cop. And not that I'm always doing something wrong, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody's a cop when they're coming at me because I'm always speeding.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
LED beams. Sucks when they're coming towards you. It's when the pickup trucks are following you and they're right in your rearview mirror. I don't know if they realize it. This is for like the dickheads that love it and the people that are still nice. But if you have a giant pickup truck with LED lights, you have to give like an extra 50 feet, even if you're a good driver, because those lights are going right through our frigging rear mirrors.
And Lord knows with all the potholes in this damn city, every time you hit a pothole, it looks like you're flashing your high beams.
Yeah, it totally does, man. Like, be aware. Let's all just become aware, you know? That's all.
I think you're asking for a lot, Bobby.
I know. I'm sorry.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
A lady and her family were gifted free Krispy Kreme donuts for a year after she gave birth in the chain restaurant's parking lot. I guess they were on the way to the hospital when a snowstorm broke out, and then they just panicked and pulled over in the parking lot. And, well, the baby was born there. And apparently after hearing that, the manager said free donuts for life for that family and their baby. Although the one thing I was disappointed about was the fact that they didn't name the kid after a donut. The couple named their baby Dallas. I feel like if you have your kid in a Krispy Kreme parking lot, you got to at least name your kid Boston after the Boston cream, right? Maybe like call him Frit for Fritter. I mean, they're known for their glazed donuts. Glaze is actually a tough-ass name. You get, if you met a guy named Glaze, it's kind of badass, I'm not going to lie. Maple, it's the most Canadian name you could name your kid of all time. I mean, people name their kids after cars. I've met girls named Mercedes and Porsche. Why can't you name your kids after food? I guarantee you there's probably someone out there that loves Big Macs enough to name their kid Mackenzie after the Big Mac. I mean, on the whole Canadian topic, I guarantee you there's a kid here in Canada named Tim after Tim Hortons. The restaurant, not the hockey player.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What did you name your kid after?
Chokehold. Ezekiel Chokehold.
The Ezekiel Choke. Is that like an MMA thing or something?
Yeah, jiu-jitsu move.
A jiu-jitsu move. I like that. You know what? I feel like there's a lot of those UFC moves. Like, if you named your kid Kimura, that's actually pretty badass.
That's not bad either.
Hey, thanks for chatting. Cheers, buddy. Have a good day.
Hey, no problem. Have a great day.
I got a lot of people chiming in about food. There was one lady who did say she named her kid Mac after the Big Mac there as well. And then I did get this voicemail on the bad line come in.
Hey, boys. Just heard the story about the Krispy Kreme baby there, which was such a funny sentence to say.
Yeah.
I thought you get a kick out of this being a Leafs fan and all. I have a buddy who, remember when the Leafs finally conquered the first round against Tampa a couple of years ago?
Boy, do I.
Well, him and the missus, I guess, got pretty excited about that W. And 9 months later, they decided to name their kid John.
Hell yeah.
After our Lord and Savior, John Tavares.
That's amazing. I guarantee you that happens all the time, all across the world, whenever a sports team has a big win. Like back in 93, there was probably so many kids named Joe after Joe Carter. Or, I mean, hell, even if you look at Kansas City right now, there's probably a bunch of kids named Patrick or Travis in the past 5 years. Hell, looking at the text line right now, I just got another text. What does this say? My brother named both of his kids after hockey players. His son is named Nash after Rick Nash. His daughter is named Avery after Sean Avery. Naming your kid after Sean Avery is hilarious. The biggest pest in the National Hockey League? That kid's going to be trouble.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I got a call from a young man named Scott who didn't want to complain about something. He actually had an idea, I guess you could say.
So a lot of teenagers, including myself, like to go drifting in the snow in the winter in parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
But often the police will nail us for doing so.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I was wondering, I want to propose to my ward councilor, and hopefully he could bring it to the city, is getting like a designated parking lot, like
a
somewhere
designated drift zone?
Exactly, where people can go drifting their cars and not get caught, because they don't like kids drifting in like public parking lots.
I mean, it's the same reason they build skate parks, to keep kids from destroying public property. So you got a little bit of a leg to stand on with that statement.
I know. Well, that's exactly it. You know,
if you start a change petition, we will be the first ones to sign it.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
You know, it's stupid, but I think he could be onto something. It would be a great way for the city to make money. You charge people, what, $20-$30 a head, set up in some arena parking lot. That's city property anyway. Have it sponsored by like State Farm or Bel Air Direct. Honestly, if you think about it, we have a crash up derby at the fall fair. We should totally have a winter fair with a drift derby. Nothing like watching cars spin out while eating a funnel cake.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
762-555. If your cat or dog could talk, what would be the first thing that you would ask them? You ever sat there and looked at your pet before and just been like, just speak to me. Just talk to me. Well, apparently that might happen one day, as there's an AI company that is working on translating what cats and dogs are actually trying to say to you. Yeah, they're going to start interpreting different meows and barks and try and basically break down at least the emotional responses that they're saying. And honestly, there's been a few times where I've sparked a lefty and I've sat there. I've tried to talk to my dogs. But then again, I don't know if I want that, man. Like, your pets, they see you at your most vulnerable moments. My dogs have seen me do way too much stuff. I feel like if our pets could talk, man, those little buggers would just start blackmailing us, man. Even in general, imagine just laying on your dog to snuggle and they're like, get your fat ass off of me. You know, the cat's one, honestly, is more scary because I feel like a cat's whole purpose in life is a plot to kill you. I feel like if cats could talk, they would just be so negative. Like that one aunt that shows up to Christmas that everyone dreads.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I have a black cat at home, pure black, and I just wonder why you bite me when I pet you and you come over for pets. You know, you start petting him, 3 strokes in, he's got really long freaking teeth, and he bites me.
Yeah, so basically, you just want to ask your cat, do you actually love me?
Yeah, I don't think he does. I call him Buddy, but his nickname is Satan.
Yeah, well, he sounds like he's living up to his name.
Oh, he does. He does.
I'm not going to lie. One thing I've always wanted to ask my dogs is, do you lick my face because you love me or because I taste good?
Yeah, well, that and they sniffed behinds of everybody, you know, including other dogs, so I don't know what they're trying to tell you.
I wouldn't mind if my dog could tell me that I didn't wipe enough. That would actually be clutch sometimes, you know?
Yes, that would be helpful, you know?
Yeah, so true, man. Hey, thanks for the call, buddy. Take care.
Take care.
All right, I got one more guy on the phone here. We got Tim on the phone. Tim, if you could ask your pet something, what would it be?
There was a chunk of hash I had gone missing a long while back, and I'd ask if he ate it.
You know, I don't understand why dogs like going after the cannabis. Like, are they trying to get stoned, or do they just like the smell or the taste? Is
monkey see, monkey do, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably it, eh?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I think you should send a text right now. 762-555. Ask us a question. 'Cause it's Text Us Tuesday. All right, we got a special guest joining us. Once again, my girlfriend Courtney filling in for Dalby for Texas Tuesday. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks.
Got a lot of texts for you specifically. We're going to avoid the weird ones as we always do. There's a lot of creepers out there. But a lot of people asking, because I've got the raspy voice right now, do you think Brock's raspy voice makes him sound sexier?
I don't know about sexy, but you do sound like Steve-O, and I think it's hilarious right now.
You don't want me to whisper in your ear? Yeah, dude.
No, that's okay. Thanks.
No? Someone wants to know, when did you know you had fallen in love with me?
That would be on the third date. We went out to eat, and you finished your food before me, which is a feat in itself.
Yeah, that was the moment out of all the things in our
yes.
relationship. Yeah, just watching me be an absolute pig.
Oh, well, because then it made me feel less like that. So
yeah, when we go out to eat, I feel like we talk until the food comes, and then we don't talk,
and then we gorge.
Yeah, finish our drinks and get out. Someone said, if you could swap jobs with anyone, who would you want to swap jobs with?
You go first.
I'd say someone that works at a bank.
Yeah, why?
I mean, then you transfer all the money to yourself.
And then they go to jail?
Yeah, I'm not going to get in trouble. I technically didn't do anything.
That's silly.
Right?
That's silly.
That's not silly. That's genius.
I don't even know what I would do.
Any job in the world.
Probably work at a dog daycare.
At a daycare?
Oh, it'd be so much fun. All the puppies.
I guess. I mean, but out of all the jobs, that's it?
I mean, I could stay home. That would be lovely too.
I don't make enough money for that. Someone said, what would you do if a genie transformed you into a male for a day?
Ooh, I would take the opportunity to drive down the highway just to pee on the side of the road.
Girls can do that, can't they?
Yeah, but I don't know.
You just want to pee standing up?
Yeah,
is that it?
100%, 110%.
I get that. If I was a girl for a day, I don't even think I could get into what I want. I think I'd just be staring at myself in the mirror all day. All right, someone said, if you could have any animal as a pet, what animal would it be?
A cat.
No.
A cat.
No. Okay, not even for a bit's sake. This girl has been trying to persuade me to get a cat. Anyone who knows me, I friggin' hate cats. I'm shutting it down right now. No cats.
Come on, I already spent 3 years without a cat.
Don't do this to me on air. People are going to start texting and don't do it to me.
So why don't we take this opportunity to ask everyone if Courtney should have a cat?
Don't do that because they're going to all text in for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're on my side.
Cats suck. We don't need one. We've got 2 dogs. You've got 30 reptiles.
But I don't have a cat.
We don't need a cat.
That's all I want.
Everyone who has a cat, and I mean no disrespect, actually all disrespect by it, I know you have a cat when I walk into your house. It stinks. I can smell the litter box. I don't want that in our house.
He doesn't mean that. He actually genuinely loves cats. He's just doing this
I 100% mean. Okay, enough of this.
Anyways.
Stop with the text. I already see I'm not buying her a cat. Wrap up with this one. If you won the lottery tonight, what's the first thing you would buy?
2 cats.
Stop. Get out. You're never coming back again. I'm done.
All right. Thanks, guys.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is enervate. Yeah, enervate. 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 And it's lacking vigor, whatever. Yeah. Well, I have days like that. We all have days like that. I do, especially after a big fatty. But anyways, that just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers.
Enervate. Let's hear the pronunciation. Enervate. All right. So basically like a lack of energy. I mean, if you have kids, you know that they are never enervate. I mean, your kids probably cause you to feel enervate. I mean, you could also say as you get older, the older you get, you start to feel more enervate. I actually kind of like the sound of that, enervate. It sounds like an energy veteran, which is essentially what you are the older you get. Enervate. Use it wherever you can today, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. with all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.